Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special bonus cast of the Warhoundcast. In this thing, we're doing a in-depth look at some of the Surrey Championship lists which have been submitted. I'm joined by just Nathan this week.
Hello, I'm just Nathan.
And yeah, we've got some slightly exclusive access to the list a bit early. So thanks to James for sending that through. And we're just going to take a quick look at each list, or a more in-depth look at this list. If you've heard our hopefully mini pod first, where we just kind of look at the top three and whatever. So we'll start off. We're going to look at Michael Costello's list. We're going to try we're not going to talk about mine, Nathan's, or Rich lists. We had a specific episode talking about that, and we'll try not to get more carried away with lists from people at the club we know. Michael's come down a few times and met him, so it's easier. Mike's list is a Chaos Soup list. He's got some Chaos Marines and Chaos Knights. He's got a battalion with 2 Discordants, a Hellwright, 3 Cultist units, min squads, then a Night Lords battalion with a Discordant, a Prince, Master of Possession, some more Cultists, just filling up the stuff, a minimum Chaos Marine squad, a 7-man Warp Talon squad, and then a couple of Knights, 1 big Despoiler with Thermal Cannon and Avenger Cannon, and 2 Moiraxes with Graviton Pulsar and Lightning Lock. And this is one of the cooler lists, I think. There are some really nasty Night Lords tricks now, and those Knights have a lot of firepower. So he's got a really nice mix between things that run up and hit you in the face and just a shit ton of firepower from the Knights and the Myraxes.
Yeah, the only thing that he's got 2 Discordants in 1 battalion, which is the Soulforge pack, and then he's got 1 Discordant in the other one.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a specific reason why he wants the Hellwright in the Soulforge pack for maybe the Warlord trait and not having the option to advance and charge on the other one. But yeah, that's a...
Yeah. Don't know. Maybe there's... I'm sure there's a reason for that.
Yeah. Do you want to do the next list?
Yeah, sure. Just to point out, because he's running Infernal Household, he can put the Graviton Pulsars on the Moirax up to flat 5 damage.
Were they is that the weapon you were running on your Moiraxes previously?
Yeah. Against Centurions, which should be quite good considering what's coming up. So
yeah.
The next one is Lee Smith. Looks like he's just running Space Wolves.
Yeah.
So he's got a battalion of Space Wolves. He's got Bjorn the Fell-Handed, which is he's a Dreadnought, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Okay. So he's got Bjorn the Fell-Handed, a Wolf Lord with a jump pack, and a Thunderhammer. Looks like he's taken that as his Warlord. Then he's got 3 4-man units of Blood Claws, 2 units of Wolfen, not running max Thunderhammers, so 2 Thunderhammers, 2 Axes, and the Claws on the leader. 2 Stormwolves, which are they the Flyers? They are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 Flyers. They're basically like Space Wolves special Storm Raven gunships, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the floating bricks, basically.
Yeah. Then he's got a Spearhead. He's got a Rune Priest with a jump pack. 2 Eliminator squads for 2 of the heavy supports. They're all running Bolt Snipers. And then he has a Leviathan with twin Storm Cannons.
I was going to say this is my favourite Marine list until I saw the Leviathan at the end, but it's probably still the coolest Marine list, although there's one later I think that runs it close. But
yeah, I mean, fair play for running.
Yeah, because you could run a lot of this. Yeah, you could run Marines as more effective than this without question, although Wolfen are pretty good these days.
I like the list, it's nice.
Yeah.
He's got some troops. He's got Wolfen, which are pretty good. He's got 2 flyers, which is decent, support characters, character targeting, and a Leviathan. It's a pretty good list.
Yeah. So next up we have Craig's list. I actually played against this list yesterday. So he's got a Harlequin detachment, which is insanely fast, it's fair to say. Shadow Seer, 2 Death Jesters, a Solitaire, and 6 Skyweavers with Haywire cannons. Then a Latok battalion with a Farseer Skyrunner, some Dire Avengers, some Guardian Defenders, a 8-man Shining Spear squad, if you include the Exarch, and then a Spearhead with a Warlock on bike, 3 Fire Prisms, 1 Hemlock to round out the list. And this list can do some serious damage quickly in Assault because, excuse me, when I was playing him yesterday, I'm like, I can't screen from him in an effective way because he's just so fast. And if you hide 60 inches away, he's got his Fire Prisms. A lot of his stuff has an invan save against shooting. A lot of his stuff dies very quickly if you can land a good punch on it. But yeah, it's another contender for coolest list and definitely the fastest list we've got in the event.
Yeah, I mean, he's... what have we got? Yeah, so he does have another Warlock in that battalion.
Oh yeah, I missed one in there somewhere.
He's got Twilight Pathways on his Shadow Seer to double move the Skyweavers, and then he's got Quicken to double move the Spears as well. So yeah, super fast.
Yeah, his slowest thing moves 7, which is quicker than some armies. If you think of a Death Guard army or something, maybe.
Yeah.
and they can advance and shoot without penalty in the Avengers and things. So yeah, most of his army can keep up with this flyer, which is pretty insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So next list is Paulie Wallace. He's running his Drakari, which he runs at quite a lot of tournaments, I think. He's got a Blackheart Battalion, 2 Archons, 1 with a Venom Blade, 1 with a Husk Blade, 3 units of Warriors. Doesn't look like they're running blasters, they're just Splinter rifles. 3 Ravagers with triple disintegrators, 2 Razor Wings with disintegrators and twin Splinter rifles, and then 3 Venoms with Splinter cannons. Then yeah, I mean,
he's got a Prophets of Flesh battalion as well.
Yeah. So yeah, Prophets of the Flesh battalion. He's got a Homunculus with a Hex rifle and a whip. Then he's got Drazar as his other HQ. He's got 3 units of Rax, all just bare bones. 2 units of 2 Talos with the standard loadout of macro scalpels, chain flails, and haywire. And then he has a patrol of Witch Cult. And that's just a Succubus and 15 Witches. So yeah,
This probably wins the
round.
second fastest list award. Lots of stuff that's starting off in vehicles and stuff. And then he's got that rock hard Prophets of Flesh battalion to tank things as well.
Yeah, pretty good all round. It's a nice triple. Don't know what you want to call it. The different
each subcult or whatever there.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty good. I like it.
So next up we have James Marks with his 1,000 Suns. So starts off with Arrowman on disc. You'd never not take Arrowman in 1,000 Suns. Sorcerer in Terminator armor. 2 squads of 5 rubrics. 1 squad of 9 rubrics. 10 Chaos Spawn in 2 fast attack slots. Some Zangor Enlightened. 9 of them, including the Sergeant equivalent. 2 Demon Princes with wings. More Rubik Marines. Another 10 of them in 2 troop slots. 10 Cultists just to round out a second battalion. And then Magnus. And it's Cult of Duplicity. Oh, we've got Cult of Duplicity and a Cult of Magic. So we're getting use of those new Faith and Fury subcults, whatever you want to call them. A lot of smite damage in this list. Not a lot of shooting. Rubrics and the Zangor Enlightened can put a non-trivial amount of firepower, but compared to some of the lists we'll see later, certainly one of the more less shooty armies, although this might just make up a lot of the distance. And then 10 Chaos Spawn is interesting. 10 for 100 points, you kind of forget how cheap they are these days sometimes. And then some really powerful characters in there. All of the HQs and Magnus are a credible threat on their own.
Yep. Yeah. It's I'm not sure about the rubric spam, but
it's interesting. If I was going rubrics, I'd probably drop a battalion and go to a Supreme Command to get my characters in, and have one big blob of rubrics to chuck buffs on.
Yeah.
But equally, rubrics at 88 points are pretty tough to kill for their cost, especially if they're in cover. So you've got they're just an awkward unit to kill at that point for a lot of armies.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe you would prefer to go like with some unit of rubrics and then a big unit of Terminators.
Yeah, that would be another option.
Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty good. Not a lot of anti-vehicle apart from Magnus smiting. Not sure about the Chaos Spawns as well, but
he's now going to smash both of us. You realise?
Yeah. So next list is Moshawa. Hope I'm saying that right.
If we're pronouncing it wrong, we can just say this was how it was typed on the sheet at the time and pretend it was something else.
Yeah. So he's got a mixed. So he's bringing Thousand Suns Battalion, Sorcerer and Terminator armor, another Sorcerer and Araman. He's then got a 8-man unit of rubrics, and then 2 minimum units of cultists. He's then got an Alpha Legion spearhead, so he's got just a bog standard Chaos Lord with what it doesn't really look like he's got any upgrades apart from maybe the Combi Bolter. And then it's 3 Deredeo Dreadnoughts with twin Butcher Cannons and Greater Havoc launchers, which are really good. Then he's got a Alpha Legion Supreme Command with a single Lord Discordant with Baleflamer, Master of Possession, and a Warpsmith. Oh, and Lord of Skulls. Can't miss that. Just tucked away at the bottom there.
Yeah, I'd be curious why he's made the Thousand Suns the battalion and not Alpha Legion, because the cultists are definitely better. The rubrics okay are in an elite slot, but I don't think they're a big enough draw to make it that way and not swap the Thousand Suns into a Supreme Command and have the Spearhead as a battalion.
Yeah.
And then have either 120 points. You've got 136 points to fill instead of rubrics, so you could have cultists and another thing, or you could have a reasonable squad of Marines if you really wanted the power armor.
Yep.
But yeah, that looks like a very scary list to go second to, because that Lord of Skulls is in your lines, and you're getting three for Hellforged Dares in the face.
Yep.
Yeah. And Araman, of course.
Yeah, got all the stuff to buff it up as well. So it's got Master of Possessions and whatnot.
Yeah, so you can get that Lord of Skulls up to a 4-up in combat as well as ranged.
Mm-hmm.
And buff the Discordant as well if he's in range.
Yep.
So next up we have Rob Waller, one of our club mates, who's made a last-minute switch, I believe, to Chaos. So he has got a mixed detachment, I think. Yep. Mixed detachment first up. 2 Demon Princes, one of Khorne with the axe, so he's probably going to smash out for Skull Reaver. A Demon Prince of Slanesh, a Poxbringer, a Bloodletter unit, and 2 Nurgling units. So that's a Demon Battalion. Because I was looking at the side of it and thinking it was Chaos Space Marine Battalion for some reason. A Alpha Legion Battalion with a Dark Apostle, a Hellstalker, and a Sorcerer. A couple of Cultist troops, 3 minimum squads. Some Havocs with Reaper Chain Cannons, with Mark of Slanesh. Some Obliterators, also with Mark of Slanesh. So either of those can come out and just annihilate a target of their choice. And then an outright attachment of Night Lords with a Chaos Lord, 2 Spawn in separate detachments, and a 9-man Warp Lightning, Warp Talon squad who have Lightning Claws, and that's in the Vigilus Host Raptorial detachment.
Yep.
And this seems like a really tricksy list, especially because Rob is a really tricksy player. So
Yeah.
I would be surprised if this went poorly with him.
Yeah. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah. The only thing I think that's going to stop Rob getting a top finish is that I think he's only played 1 game with this. But because otherwise Rob was pretty much always my number 1 pick for tournaments like this because he's a very, very good player.
Yeah, I like it. It's got Night Lord's trickery stuff, Alpha Legion tankiness, and just Chaos Demons.
In fact, I think he's got a. Oh yeah, he's got a big Bloodletter bomb. I can't remember if I mentioned that. I think I sort of passed over that.
Yeah.
So a lot of deep striking threats, and those Warp Talons can really lock up a flank or whatever if you need them to these days.
Yeah. Go on to the next list.
Yeah.
So we've got Angus Patterson. He is bringing Adeptus Sororitas, so Sisters of Battle. Do you know a lot about Sisters of Battle?
Not massively.
I
Angus brought these actually to the last I Buy War Games tournament with not a million miles off of Sicilian Milice when they were back in their beta codex.
Yep. So he's got a battalion running it as Valorous Heart. Not that I know what that means. Terrible caster. He's got a Canoness as his one of his HQs, and then he does have Celestine. He's also bringing a Inquisitor as well. He's bringing Greyfax. He's got 3 units of Battle Sisters, just 5-man units. He has a Magifier in the Elite's Choice, 2 fast attacks, which are 2 Seraphim, 10-man Seraphim squads. He's then got a Vanguard, which is Order Bloody Rose. He's got a Missionary for the HQ. He's got 3 elites to make the Vanguard, which is a Dialogus and 2 Sister Repenters. Oh, sorry, 2 Sister Repenter units, which are both 9-man. He's then got
9 women.
9 women, yep. He's then got 2 dedicated transports, which are 2 rhinos. He is bringing the hunter killers as well, and he has another battalion, which is Valorous Heart again. He's got a Canoness and a Missionary for the HQs. 3 more Battle Sister squads, all just 5-man again, and then he has 3 Exorcists with hunter killers as well, and obviously the missile launchers.
You say obviously they've got an anti-infantry mode as well, but
oh, do they?
Yeah, they new in the book, but
shows how much I know about them.
Yeah, I haven't read the Sisters of Battle book in the flesh yet. I've only been reading like reviews of it online, so we're just going to give that one a thumbs up. Say it's got a load of CP, and move on to the next list. I think.
Yeah, I haven't read anything about it, so.
Yeah, I know Order of the Bloody Rose is the combat one, so he's got a punchy one and 2 other ones. Sorry, Angus, if you've listened to the podcast just for this bit.
The
going back on,
good, though.
They're really good.
Yeah, really good.
They can get some decent ones. But moving back onto more familiar ground, we've got Jordan Milton's Chaos list, which is almost pure Iron Warriors. He's got a Lord Discordant. He's got a Hellforge Contemptor Dreadnought with Twin Las Cannon. He has 2 Daredare Dreadnoughts in the exact loadout we've seen of all the other Daredaros. A Mauler Fiend, a Obliterator Squad, 3-man, Marcus Lanesh, as you might imagine, which are going to, again, deep strike in, I suspect, and annihilate something. Mm-hmm. A Supreme Command detachment, 2 Chaos Lords with not much on them. and a Lord Discordant and a Sorcerer. So 1 Chaos Lord and Terminator armor. A little surprised by the other one, why he's got 2 there, but maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it's to give him more deep strike areas for the Obliterators or something. I'm not sure about that. And then he's got a Slaanesh Chaos Demons Battalion with the Herald of Slaanesh, Slilisik, Siliski, that seems like a better pronunciation, and 3 10 women squads of Demonettes. And yeah, another very powerful Chaos shooting list backed up with a couple of decent melee threats in Saliske and the Discordant. And a Mauler Fiend as well. Oh, Discordant.
Yeah. Doesn't matter because he can just move. It's still Iron Warriors, but he has too many HQs in the battalion. He has 4.
Oh yeah. Oh, you can chuck one in his spearhead though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because he's still running them as Iron Warriors. So.
Then we have Dennis's list. And yeah, you faced this list yesterday.
Yep. Yeah, I came up against this yesterday. So it's Imperial Soup basically. So it's a battalion of Blood Angels. He's got Astaroth, which, if you don't know, is basically the named chaplain that Blood Angels can take, and he can take a lot of litanies. So he gets the normal one, which is Litanies of Hate. He then has the Blood Angels one as well, so he already comes with 2 regardless, which I believe is Invocation of Destruction, and then he can pick 2 as well. So, and I believe he can use 2, which is really good, and he's not too bad in combat as well. So then he's got a captain who he's giving, Smash Captain, so Jump Pack, Storm Shield, Thunderhammer. He's giving that one the Angel's Wings, so no Overwatch. Then he has another captain who he's made his Warlord. He's paid CP to take Quake Bolts on this one, which is a new relic where if you hit the target, then all Blood Angels reroll or get +1 to hit.
Yeah, +1 to hit.
Yeah,
in melee only, I think.
Yeah, which is really good. He's then got 3 units of scouts, all just bare bones. Sergeant's got chainsword. Then he's got a 7-man unit of Death Company. 4 of them have Thunderhammers, and the 3 of them just have chainswords. He's got a Sanguinary Ancient with, I'm not sure if that is a relic or not, with the banner.
I think he can. I think he wrote it as though he couldn't choose, but I think he can choose to have the relic now. So
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got a Sanguinary Ancient, and then he has a is that 7? Yeah, 7-man unit of Sanguinary Guard, and they've all got Power Fists, and obviously the bolt guns that they get. Then he's got a super heavy detachment. He's running it as House Tyrannus. So he's got a single Helverin. He's then got a Moirax with twin Gravitons, which he'll be using my Moirax for.
Why did you lend him that?
Then he's got a Crusader, who he has paid for the Ironstorm missile pod, and he's also paid for the battle cannon as well. So, and then he's got another battalion, which is Admech. He's running it as Gryer, which is usually what you do when you're just subbing in a Admech.
Yeah, just for the CP, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just standard Rusty 17, so 2 entrances, 15 rangers. So Gryer, obviously, they're much tankier because you basically get a 6-up for no pain to stop them from dying, and also they get a stratagem to deny a psychic test on a 4-up.
I think this list, while it has CP, has just the most damage output, because Blood Angels can do so much, and if he gets all his combos off, this is just going to obliterate things, while it's got the CP to do things like fight again and 3d6 charges and all that.
Yeah, so the change on being able to pick the relics and warlord traits, he picked on his knight the 2-up in combat, which massively nullified in our game, the Seer Council, because obviously their attacks have no AP. And yeah, because it's got so much movement, he was able to like get to places where he needed to like get rid of my characters. This is just in our game. It was very close right up until the last turn. It's a very strong list. Unfortunately, his Death Company didn't really do anything. He unfortunately failed a.
You say unfortunately, I suspect you were quite delighted at the time.
I was. He failed I think it was a 7. It might have even been a 6-inch charge re-rolling with his Angel's Wing captain. And he needed to basically get him into the Seer Council to stop them from overwatching the Death Company, and he failed that. So then he charged the Death Company, and the Death Company died to Overwatch. So, but yeah, very strong list.
So next list is someone called Nathan's, and we spoke about it, so I'm going to go over it really, really quickly. But Autarch Skyrunner, Eldrad, another Skyrunner, some Guardians, some Rangers, 3 Wave Serpents, 2 Warlocks, 3 Avenger Squads, a big Skyrunner Conclave in the Windrider host, and some support weapons.
Terrible list.
Yeah, why would you take that? So next proper list, as it were, or next list we haven't covered before, to be fair, we have White Scars, which I think it is a triple battalion. So Captain, this is Michael Corr's list. Captain on a bike, Librarian, 3 Scout squads, Scouts with a mix of combat and ranged. A 2nd battalion, a Smash Captain, a Lieutenant, some 3 Intercessor squads, 2 Interceptor squads, 2 Eliminator squads. The Interceptors have assault bolters, the Eliminators have bolt rifles, a Impulsor. I'm surprised there aren't more Impulsors around. I thought they were a really good tank when I saw them. That's by the by. A 3rd battalion, another, I think that's going to be essentially the White Scars Smash Chaplain, a Librarian, 2 Infiltrator squads, a Tactical Marine squad with a las cannon, and a Thunderfire cannon. And this is probably the most I've seen ever of like a sort of... It's not the most damaging Marine list in the world. It's got a hell of a lot of troops, and it's going to have a hell of a lot of board control throughout the match. It doesn't have a lot of anti-tank stuff. The characters, though, can smash a knight or whatever if they get close. But in terms of like ranged ability to take out tanks, it's going to be interesting to see how that works for this chap.
Yeah. None of like Assault Centurions or Devastator Centurions in this.
But loads of movement tricks, and White Scars have a whole host of useful stratagems for.
Yeah, loads of movement tricks and stuff. Usually you'd see like bike squads or Vanguard vets or something like that as well, but nothing in here. The captain on the bike didn't get moved to Legends, did it?
Not for White Scars.
Okay.
They've got a specific one. I think most of the others did, but White Scars kept theirs. Because he's I think the captain on a bike is a specific White Scars unit.
Okay.
I think he's in their supplement. So I think the captain on bike for Marines did, but White Scars got their own one to make up for it. I think that's how it worked.
Okay. Fair enough. Next list. So we've got Mark Caudry. He is running. So it's Imperial Knights. It's a he's running it as Krast. It's a Crusader with Gatling cannon and a battle cannon. He's then got an Errant, which is the one with the thermal cannon. He's then got a Gallant, which is obviously the close combat one, and then he's also got a Styrex, which is basically a Forge World normal sized knight, with graviton weapons and a claw and stuff. Then he's just got a rusty. Well, he's got a rusty 17 with 2 arquebuses in each ranger squad. So pretty much pure knights with a rusty 17 and some character targeting.
Yeah, this is one of those lists that I think if it goes first often is going to be terrifying, and if he has a couple games going second, he could really struggle. But yeah,
it's very much a knights at the moment anyway. Very much like a gatekeeper list. So if you know how to sort of play around it, then next one.
So Stuart Barnes with his NIDS list. We've spoken about Stuart having some pretty cool NID list ideas on the podcast previously, and I think this is a really good example as to why. So he's all Kronos. He has 2 battalions and a spearhead. Battalion 1 has a Malanthrope, a Neurothrope, 3 11-man Termagant squads with flesh borers. Second battalion has 2 Neurothropes, 2 more Termagant squads, an 11 and a 10-man. Then how many is that? I think it's 9 or 10-man Tyrannid warrior unit with a bunch of stuff, but essentially it's a credible shooting and melee threat. And I'm going to bet he's going to do bio-adaptions to give them the ignore AP 2.
He actually doesn't.
Really?
No, usually, because this is if you've watched the other podcast, this is the list that I played with the Seer Council. That the Seer Council killed the unit of warriors.
Okay.
Usually goes for active physiology on the big NIDs.
Okay, so we'll keep on going to the big stuff then. He's got 6 Hive Guard. Then most of his points are in his final spearhead, which has got a Broodlord, 2 Exocrines, 2 Tyrannofexes with rupture cannons and Stinger salvos. So it's essentially a NID gun line with a lot of bodies and a lot of psychic damage.
Yeah.
And again, this is a list that if you can't hide, and if you can hide, the Hive Guard will do a lot of damage. You really don't want to go second against if you're caught out in the open.
Yeah. I went first when we played, so I couldn't really. I can't comment on the fight. Well, I know the Warriors put out a lot, and the Hive Guard are obviously really good. I don't think the Tyrannofexes did a lot, but the Exocrines were like just devastating.
I think it's part of
whatever he used on them, like it was just crazy.
It's part of an overload strategy that you could drop a Tyrannofex for another Exocrine in this list, but you've got a lot of big NID bodies there with toughness 8, and it's tough to get through that many wounds if nothing else.
Yeah.
And the Rapture Cannons do have a lot more range than the Exocrine. I think they're 48 v 36. And you can only move and double shoot one of the Exocrine still. So different options for different things. But yeah, a really cool list, I think. And like the least combat-y NID list I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he the problem he faced when we played was that I went straight for the Warriors and the Hive Guard, which meant that anything else that I then went to tie up was actually tied up.
Yeah.
So it fell a little bit short there, but it is like, if he can get the shooting in, it's super strong. So next list is Tom Forstner,
I think, right. Yeah.
Looks like it's Knights and Admech again. So he's running his as Krast. Oh, he is actually paying 2 CP for a assassin as well, and obviously 95 points.
I was trying to work out what that was. I've forgotten the assassin sideboard was still a thing, to be honest.
Yeah. So he's actually got a Castigator Knight, which is one of the big Forge-World Knights with the bolt cannon and sword. He's then got 2 Crusaders. They are actually different. So the first Crusader, he's got the Ironstorm missile pod, obviously the Gatling cannon, and he's paying for a rapid fire battle cannon. The next Crusader, he's got a missile pod as well, and then he's got a thermal cannon instead of a battle cannon. So then he has a Admech Styges battalion. So he's got a
They're the -1 to hit Raven
yeah,
Guard, LA Talk equivalent.
yeah. He's got a Daedalus. Not sure what
Yes.
that does. Yeah, that thing.
I think that's the one that it points at
Is that the
something
new one?
and Admech stuff gets +1 to hit against it.
Yeah. I think that's the one from like Blackstone Fortress or something like that, isn't it?
I think it was in the Kill Team Admech box.
Okay. He's then got a Tech Priest, and just an engines here, 3 units of Rangers. And then he's got a heavy support. He has 2 Dune Crawlers. Are they the same? Yeah, they're the same. He's just -1 heavy stubber on one of them, so they've both got neutral lasers. And then he has a Scorpius Disintegrator, which is the new tank.
So next up, we have Daniel Farrell's Marine list, and this is one of the most powerful lists I think we've got here. So it's Raven Guard with a Smash Captain and Strike, 3 Scout Squads, 1 with sniper rifles, the rest with bolters, a Vanguard detachment with 2 lieutenants, and then a massive blob of Centurions, which I think it's 6-man squad with dual flamers and hurricane bolters, 2 Invicta warsuits, a Vanguard veteran squad with Storm Shield Thunderhammers, then a chaplain, a Centurion Devastator squad with Grav Cannon and Grav Amps, and 3 Eliminator squads. And this is just nasty. It's got a lot of resilience. The Raven Guard have got some tricks. If you go second, you're getting punched in the face by at least 2 Warsuit units and probably the Centurion units as well. Ouch, is all I can say.
Yep. Yeah, need some serious screening on against this.
Yeah, I am very scared against this list if I go second. But even if I go first, the amount of infantry that can charge the wolves or whatever is just very scary.
Yeah. Actually, interesting that the Centurion Assault Squad, he actually doesn't have Hurricane Bolters on a couple of them. He's got assault launchers.
Oh yeah, I missed that.
And also,
Well, that's just a points thing.
they've got the yeah, it might be. They've got the flamers, but he's well, it looks like he's actually running them as Raven Guard as opposed to a custom.
Yeah, so more of a
So
slight more. Well, I guess with Raven Guard, if you go first, you can move and still charge, so you get them in flamer range.
Yeah, yeah. I think the general rule, if you're doing that, is to take a custom just to get the extra range on the flamers.
I think that's more useful on White Scars who deep strike their way in, whereas if Raven Guard can start off 9 and move. But yeah, the Vanguard vets is an interesting flex choice. You don't often see it when you've got Centurions in the list as well. But a movable squad with a bunch of attacks with Thunderhammers.
Yeah, I think the kicker on them is that they fly.
Yeah.
So although the Centurions are really good, and obviously he's got a mix, so he's got assault and devastators. So the grav cannons will do a lot of work with the grav strat.
Yeah, they'll do insane amount of work.
When I was looking at doing Raven Guard, I always had like Vanguard vets as well, just because I was so worried about not being able to get to a unit.
Okay.
So next list is Jamie Stone. We got Space Marines. So we've got a battalion. Looks like he's running Salamander's successor with long-range marksman, master artisans. What's long-range marksman is the one that
The
increases
extra range,
Yeah.
and Master Artisans is the reroll a hit and a reroll a hit and a wound.
Okay. So he's got a normal lieutenant, non-primaris, with just chainsword. Tech marine. 1 unit of scouts with snipers. 2 tactical marine squads.
What's a tactical marine?
The sergeants have storm bolters, and they do have a special weapon. So actually, they're 6-man units with a heavy weapon, which is a heavy bolter.
Do they still have their D3 mortal wound shots with their heavy bolter? Hellfire rounds.
Sure. Not sure.
Marines have got so many these days; it's hard to keep track.
Yeah, yeah. Then they've got a unit of eliminators, just with the bolt sniper rifles. Then he has another battalion, which is exactly the same. So Salamander's successor, exactly the same custom traits. He has a captain, which is basically looks like a smash captain. So jump pack, storm shield, thunderhammer. He's got a librarian, which he's taken a couple of Salamander powers on.
I think I'm not going to do psychic powers for most things, but the fire shield and Drake skin I think is to make the librarian super tanky, and then he can do the you can't shoot my infantry unless you kill my librarian strat. I think that's what that's around, which is going to be very scary to shoot at.
Yep. Then he has 3 units of scouts, all just bare bones, 5-man units. Then he has. Interestingly, he hasn't given the sergeants chainswords, so there is that. He's then got some elites, so he has a very interesting couple of units of company veterans. So he has 2 5-man units of company veterans. The veterans have plasma guns and storm shields.
A really resilient shooting unit, isn't it?
Yeah, really cool. I like that. And the sergeant has a combi plasma and chainsword. So yeah, he's got 2 units of those. And then he has a Sternguard veteran squad, all with combi flamers.
Yeah, the 11-inch. He's got a drop pod, so he's going to get 2 of the squads in here.
Okay, that's really
deep strike them down and either burn or plasma something, I guess, depending on matchup.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Especially with the Salamanders +1 to hit and wound and all this stuff with flamers in there. Is that their doctrine one?
Yeah, 220 points for that unit. How much? Do you know off the top of your head how much a unit of not Centurions, Grav Devastators are?
I've got it in my head they're about in the 160, 180 range. Okay. So I think this is more expensive, if that's the question behind it.
Yeah, more expensive, but more models. And I'm not too savvy on the Salamander stuff, but I'd imagine I believe there's a strat that they all get max shots on their flamers.
I think it's a model gets max shots.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a unit.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of the mortal wound one, which got changed.
Yeah, it might. Yeah. It's probably that, but yeah, it's definitely the whole unit because people were taking aggressors with flamers.
Okay.
I quite like that. I like the fact that this is all old Space Marines. So this is probably one of my favourite lists, I think. There is more. So he's got 3 heavy supports. He has 2 Contemptor Mortis Dreads with 2 twin las cannons, which is just solid choice. They're really good. And then he actually has a Land Raider Redeemer with obviously twin flame storms and a multi-melter.
Yeah, I think it's between this list and Lee Smith's Space Wolves for the coolest Marine list. And it's not often we get kind of excited by Marine lists because they're a penny. They're everywhere.
I get excited by old Marine lists.
So yeah, I think big props to. It still looks like a really, really powerful list.
Yeah,
But big props to Jamie Stone and Lee Smith for doing Marines a different way.
Jamie, you've let yourself down because you've taken a unit of Eliminators.
Take back everything we said. You know,
but yeah, still.
We'll chuck him on the par with the rest.
Yeah, and then rounding it off, he's got a drop pod. So, like we were talking about, dropping the Vanguard vet, Stern Guard vets in. So, yeah, nice. I like it.
I really like this list as well.
I'd like to see how it does. I really like the idea of the Space Marine veterans with storm shields and plasma.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I'm intrigued to see how that works because plasma guns, obviously, one of the big risks is killing yourself with them.
Yeah.
Albeit that Marines have reroll everything to make them quite reliable, but yeah, the plasma gun and storm shield's not a combo I think I've seen before. But
no.
If you've got a 15-inch deep strike with your successor trait, then you can drop them down. You put them in cover, and they've got a 2-up, 3-up, which is going to be 2-up, 3-up, which is going to be really awkward to get through, and they can hopefully shoot a couple of turns that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good, but I really like it.
Yep.
So next up, we've got one of the most powerful lists again. It's a orc list. We actually lost our audio first time doing this, and you missed me mucking up the relic of this detachment. So we've got a big mech with a shock attack gun, and not a souped-up super soaker. Can't even get it right on when I'm doing my. I'm correcting my correction, and it's all going wrong. You may also hear the voice of Rich in the background every now and again, who's joined us.
Yay.
So yeah, we've got the Big Mac with the shock attack gun. We have a Weird Boy with the jump. We have 3 minimum Gretchen squads. We have a 10-boy tank buster mob. We have a 15-man loser mob. Then we have a Goths battalion, who are not the most popular choice for boys and things, but have the most like melee damage. So that's a really interesting choice there. But he's got a war boss, a weird boy. So we have 3 boy squads, 2 30-boy, 1 20-boy, to presumably run up and just hit things really hard. And then a freebooters battalion. So he's got a big mech with custom force field, Captain Badruck, who I've seen once or twice, but not in 8th edition. 3 Gretchen squads, and then 15 flash gits, each in separate squads. So we've got quite a nasty mix of very powerful shooting and a lot, if not of particularly high quality, melee attacks with those boys. So target priority for and against this list is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I quite like it. It's got like little bits of the common sort of takes, like just tons of boys, souped up shocker. But then it's got like flash kits and tank busters and
yeah,
I'm sorry, I missed the looters. Yeah, I really like this. It looks good.
Next up, we have Rich's lists. Again, we covered this one in our last podcast, so we'll go through it super quickly. Sorry, Nathan, I'm stealing your turn, but Chaplain, Dreadnought, Primaris Captain, 3 Intercessor squads, Apothecary, Centurion Devastator squad, Relic Leviathan with storm cannons, another battalion with a Captain, Lieutenant, some Intercessors, 2 Whirlwinds. A very powerful Marine.
There should be a Primaris Ancient in that list as well. I don't know if you might miss that.
Oh yeah, sorry, I missed that in the elites thing.
Ooh. I was going to say I thought I might have sent not sent in the right.
And an Apothecary as well. I completely missed 2 elite choices. I apologise.
Yeah.
That's all right.
We'll just delete them off the sheet and say you can't bring them on the day.
3 units. 3 units of bare bones tactical Marines.
Can you imagine?
Ah.
Oh, I wouldn't turn up for the tournament.
Yeah, so we've covered our lists in the last
Yeah.
one. So yeah, let's
Yeah.
skip on to the next one, which is disgusting. I might
Yeah,
have to
I
get
think
the
this
throw up
is
in my mouth a little bit.
this is the
Whose
most
list?
powerful list, full stop. I think in the whole thing.
So yeah, next list is James Pilkington. He is running Raven Guard successors.
Centurions.
Long range marksman, so extra range, master artisans. So he's got his first attachment is a Vanguard. He's just got a Primaris Lieutenant, bog standard loadout. Then let me just get my sick bag. He has 3 max units of Centurion assault squads.
Yeah,
Nice.
one has got flamers and everything. The rest have got melter guns.
Melters, yeah. So one
So-
with flamers, so 6 with flamers, 12 with melters, all
I
with
think-
hurricane bolters and siege drills.
I think what's a genuine problem with this list is that the Centurions are so killy at range with his build he's got, he might not ever get them into combat.
Yeah.
He just annihilates everything when he gets close.
Yeah.
And that's
So,
not it.
Yeah, so actually, like, he has dropped over 1,000 points on those 3 units. So, anyone bringing Moirax is going to have a field day with that. if they go first, that is.
Yeah, big if.
Yeah. So then he's got a battalion, exactly the same, Raven Guard successors, long range marks and master artisans. He has just a normal chaplain with a jump pack. He's taking Canticle of Hate, which I believe is the +2 to charge.
No, it's +1 to wound.
Oh, okay, so +1 to wound. Then he has a captain in Phobos armor, which he's making a chapter master. And he has a librarian, so 3 HQs in the battalion. He then has 3 scout squads. Now, the first one is all shotguns, so 5 shotguns in the unit. The second one looks like they've all got combat weapons, so bolt pistols and combat knives. And it's the same for the third one as well, so bolt pistols, combat knives. Then he has a spearhead, which is exactly the same again, exactly the same successor and custom chapter traits. He's got another captain, which he's made a smash captain, so jump pack, storm shield, thunderhammer, 2 thunderfire cannons, and 2 whirlwinds.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is. I think it's fair to say this is the most powerful list we've got here. Just raw power level. It has a huge amount of shooting. It has a huge amount of combat. It's got a really powerful amount of non-line of sight stuff. It's Raven Guard, so they've got all the movement tricks in the world. Yeah, let's try and avoid this list at all costs.
Yeah, please.
I'm just trying to work out how many wounds are Centurions? Are they 4?
4 each, yeah.
Well,
So
because I was just trying to figure out what the damage I could do to them, but the Leviathan I'll get 2.
Well, you would
They're
max.
not vehicles, are they?
I'm just trying to work out the secondaries because obviously this is an IEC tournament, so
Mm.
you can
Gangbusters is the easy one.
Gangbusters,
You can max Gangbusters, and then he's got enough points in 2 other units and the 2 whirlwinds for you to take. Oh no, you can't.
No, Mark for Death isn't really an option.
So
I think Headhunter and possibly you could possibly consider Butcher's Bill because he's got a reasonable number of small units, but you'd have to have the right list for that. So next up,
strong.
I'm sorry.
I was just saying it was very strong.
Yeah. Next up, we have Matt Bourne's AdMech list.
Ooh.
So he's got a Styges battalion, 2 engineers, 3 ranger squads with arc rifles or a transuronic arquebus, essentially minimum size. A dragoon squad. I'm confused. Why am I confused? Because I can't work out how many there is. 9 power level 3. Some dragoons. Some Castellan robots.
It's 3 dragoons.
3 dragoons. I assumed it was, but I couldn't see. Yeah. Sorry, his list is written in a slightly different format to the others. It's just a bit hard to skim read, as we've been doing for a lot of these.
You got to work out. You've got to work out how many there are in the unit by the points.
Yeah. So for the Castellans, he's got 2 of Castellan robots, and the dragoons, it's just got the points of 1 and then things. So sorry, it threw me for a second there. So 3 dragoons.
Oh, sorry, carry on.
3 dragoons, 2 Castellan robots with fists. Then he's got another battalion, which is Mars, and it has a Cybernetica cohort. So he's got Cool, he's got an Engine Seer, he has a Breacher squad with heavy arc rifles, a Destroyer squad with plasma, and a Skitarii Vanguard squad. He has 10 Electro Priests, a Cybernetica Datasmith with a bonus Warlord trait from the Field Commander detachment. Some more Electro Priests, 20 of them this time. I couldn't tell you the difference between which were the shooty and which were the melee ones, so I apologise there. And then he's got 4 shooty Castellan robots to round out the list.
Does it say if he's paid the CP for the Vigilus special detachment?
Yes, he has. He's got
yeah. Cool, because I was just thinking, because those Castellan robots, they get some Gucci like little strats, I think, from that.
Yeah, it's got a lot of firepower. I really like the punchy Castellan robots. They've got a nice counter-attacking option to what's quite a heavy gun line otherwise. It'd be interesting to see how this list did against someone like Craig's, if Craig's went first, because he could get into a lot of the stuff very quickly.
It's pretty well rounded. I'm just not sure. It seems to be like spread quite thin.
Yeah, I don't think it's got the damage or the resilience of some of the other gun lines. So I think Matt's going to have to play very well to. I think he's going to struggle against a lot of the knights if he goes second, for example.
Yeah.
But then, who doesn't struggle if you go second against a lot of knight lists? So
I just think it's a lot of like a 3-man unit of breachers, 3-man unit of destroyers, and then 2 like off units of priests.
Yeah, it's a lot of
2 combat robots, 3 dragoons.
What I will give the list though is it's very hard to give a knockout punch to. It's not like I kill that big knight and that's a huge thing off. It's
that's actually very true. If you were taking a max unit of destroyers, then all you've got to do is kind of go, well, I've got to kill the destroyers.
Yeah, so that's cool. We haven't really seen a list like this in our local meta, so I have to see how it does.
So next list is Jack Masters. So
this is actually my favourite list.
So I'm just reading the bit at the top. So he's got a Lord of War, a battalion. He's paying a CP for Stomper Mob, a CP for Dreadwarg, and he's paying some extra stuff as well. So we'll start off with the Lord of War. So he's named all of his guys. So I am going to read out the names. So
I think any other list we wouldn't. This list you have to.
So we got Big Steph, who is a Stomper. I'm not sure what the extra guns and that are on it, but it's got a Def Cannon, Super Gatler, 3 big shooters, twin big shooters, 5 super rockets, a Scorcher, Mega Chopper, and this is actually his Warlord as well. So, Stomper, 870 points for 30 something wounds.
I think it's 36. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Then he has 2 kill tanks. I think they're both the same. They are.
Yeah.
So 2 kill tanks, both the same. One of them's called Big Bertha. One of them's called Big Bessie. he's then got a big mech with a shock attack gun, which does have the Suit Dot Shocker.
Yeah.
Whose name is Orchimedes.
Yeah.
Very good. He's got Weird Boy, who's called Wazbrain.
Fits.
He's then got Oh, he's actually got Grots as crew members.
Yeah.
So he's got 3 units of 10 Grots. All of them are crew members of the big guys. So he's got Bessie's crew, Bertha's crew, and Big Steph's crew. And then this is my favourite name of all of them. He's then just got a normal mech with a custom Mega Slugger whose name's Nuglet.
I don't even know where to begin with this list. It's brilliant, and yeah, it's. I don't think I've seen a list like it for. Yeah. I love the names.
He's bought the same list a couple of times to.
I haven't seen it before, but
yeah. But it's always very good to see. I think it's good to see a gigantic Stomper and 2 kill tanks on the table.
Oh, I hope this list does well. If I'm honest, I don't think it will, but I hope it does. It feels like it's missing points, but maybe that's 1,005. No, it's not. It just doesn't look like a lot of stuff.
It's the.
But I think it's the Stomper, and I'm expecting to see 2 Knights as equivalent.
Yeah.
So then we have Richard Smith's list. We're almost at the end now. So we have an Emperor's Children Battalion, a Demon Prince, a Dark Apostle, 2 10-man Cultist Blobs, 1 10-man Noise Marine Blobs, who've got some really nice buffs in Faith and Fury, a Hell Brute with 2 Blast Masters and a Missile Launcher.
Yeah, Sonic Dreadnought.
Yep. A Hellforge drop pod, presumably for the. Actually, no, that's not the Dreadnought one. So I guess he's putting the Noise Marines in there and deep striking them out. An Alpha Legion battalion, Sorcerer, Warpsmith, 3 10-man cultist squads, and 3 obliterators. They're in a devastation battery, which I think allows you to shoot first turn with the obliterators if your opponent goes first. So an interesting choice whether to deep strike them or not.
Yeah. It's quite good with Havocs when you use that.
Yeah, I'm not sure obliterator is the best choice for that, but still an interesting one.
I've seen it work very well with Havocs. If you take Havocs with like auto cannons or las cannons.
I was thinking more with a chain cannon, and then just obliterate any infantry they get within 24 of you. It's a big denial threat.
Yeah. That's the only problem with the chain cannon is the 24-inch range.
And then finishing it off, he's got a Chaos Knight super heavy detachment, a War Dog with 2 autocannons, a Moirax with 2 lightning cannons, and who's his Dreadblade, interestingly, and a Despoiler who's also Dreadblade. I thought you could only have 1. Maybe I'm getting confused. I haven't played Knights for a while.
You can. Have 1.
Okay. So the Despoiler has 2 thermal cannons, and a Arnstorm missile pod, and it's a really good knight actually for 413 points.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Maybe should have whether he's going like because the Emperor's Children are actually pretty good.
Yeah, although we were quite negative about them in our Faith and Fury review. So
yeah, I was just baffled by some of the like wording on the rules.
Yeah,
but the one thing that did come out of it was that Noise Marines are great. So
yes, we did say that.
A unit of Noise Marines, so that's great. Yeah, not sure about the Devastation Battery on the Obliterators, but obviously. Alpha Legion, cultists and obliterators, and yeah, it's just decent. Like with all the messing about and stuff they can do. The one point I was going to make was that maybe he should have predicted the Space Marines with the Moirax.
Yeah, the lightning cannons seem like an interesting choice, but
really good. They're really good. But yeah, in this meta, I think the double gravitons better.
Yeah, maybe he's thinking his noise marines are there for a lot of the stuff, and the thermal cannons can do some work. So
he is running Infernal, so he can make the lightning locks flat 2 damage.
Yeah,
which is pretty good.
Then we have some idiots next.
Who would bring 9 weapon platforms?
I thought you were going to say vibro cannons for a second. Then I'm like, damn, I've only got 8. But it's my list, so I'll go through it really quickly. Again, we've covered this one previously. I have Farseer, Warlock, 2 Dire Avenger squad, 1 Ranger squad, 1 minimum striking Scorpion squad, 10 Wraith Blades with axes and shields, a total in different detachments of 9 support weapons, 8 of which are vibro cannons, 1 is D cannon, a Wave Serpent, a Wraith Seer with a D cannon, 3 Wraith Lords, a Spirit Seer, and 2 Night Spinners. Big, stupid Eldar gunline. So, actually, this was going to be the end of our lists, but as we've been doing this, James has in fact added a couple more, so we'll go over them.
We got Joe Malum. He is bringing Grey Knights. So we've got Supreme Command. It's 3 Grandmaster Nemesis Dread Knights. They've all got the same loadout. So Gatling Silencer, Heavy Incinerator, Great Swords, and he is paying 10 points for the teleporters on them. Then we got a battalion. We've got a Grey Knight Chaplain with a Stormbolter and Chaplain stick thing. Big Daddy Drago. We've got a 6-man unit of Strike Squad with Twin Falchions.
No, 1 Falchion and a Stormbolter. Oh, no, sorry. You get 2 Falchions and a Stormbolter. Sorry.
Yeah. And then they're just 2 5-man Strike Marine squads, both with Twin Falchions as well. He's got a Land Raider Crusader with obviously Twin Hurricane Bolters, Twin Assault Cannon. He's then got an air wing of Stormhawk Interceptors with Icarus Storm Cannons. So
this is slightly bizarre. I don't know how well this will do.
Joe will probably do all right with it.
Yeah, Joe's a very good player. I think he finished top 10 in UK ITC. Might have got his ranking wrong there, but yeah.
Rank 6, I think, when Michael put the thing up.
Yeah. So big shout out to Joe and to Michael for their good finishes. Michael was 16.
Yep.
Yeah. So well done to both of them.
16 with mainly CSL, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, interested to see how the list does, because I think although the Grey Knight Psychic Awakening book is out, I don't think we're doing it for this tournament.
We are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I spoke to James whilst you were chatting, and it basically said that it is out, but they're gonna make decisions on some rulings.
Okay, fair enough.
Like that. I'm not sure. Not sure how they're gonna play it, but.
So, next up, we have a very late inclusion, because I didn't think he was playing. We got Leo's list. Leo, another club mate of ours. He has Guilliman, which he always has, in every list, and will continue to have so until the end of time. He has this is all Ultramarines if Guilliman didn't give it away. He has a battalion with Tigerius, a Tech Marine, 3 Intercessor squads with bolt rifles, a Primaris Ancient, which is probably going to take the super standard, a Derodeo Dreadnought, and 2 repulsors. And as Leo made very clear in the first podcast, there is a very big difference between Power Games with 3 repulsors and him with 2 repulsors, although we couldn't work out what that specific difference was. But yeah, a very powerful gunline army. But if you get too close, it does have a surprising amount of combat. Guilliman is a beat stick in himself, and the Intercessor squads with the banner can put out a lot of melee damage.
Yeah, they're 10-man units as well, so.
Yeah.
I think I played that list not long ago, actually. My Eldar, and I lost to it like turn 3.
What, Leo's list?
Yeah, but I did bring a makeshift list. I'd like triple prisms and some dark reapers, but the rest of the list was a bit meh.
I'm pretty sure this is the list I won against with Grey Knights, where I just sat in buildings all game.
I love bringing that up around Leo. It's very funny.
It was a fun game for me. Let's just leave it at that. So we've got James's Orcs. So actually, this might be the like sub-ins.
Yeah, so James is the tournament organizer, so he might dip in and out if there's odd numbers, I suspect.
I think Leo is as well. So I think that's why they were added.
Okay.
So James is potentially running Orcs. He has a triple battalion. So first battalion, he's running as Bad Moons. He's got 2 big mechs, one with a custom force field, one with a shock attack gun. His troops, he's got 3 15-man unit of Gretchen. Heavy support, he has a 15-man looter squad, and 2 units of 5 smasher guns, so 10 smasher guns.
That is horrendous amount of damage if it goes first.
Yeah. So second battalion is Bad Moons. He's got 2 weird boys. Another 44 Gretchen. So
I didn't think he had that many Gretchen models. He's been playing a lot with bases, so I hope he's got them for the tournament.
So 3 units of Gretchen, 2 15, 1 14, so 45, which brings the total to 89 Gretchen.
Oh, that's a lot of bodies.
Yeah. Then his other battalion is Evil Sons. He's got a War Boss, which is his Warlord, so brutal but cunning, with a Power Claw. I'm assuming he's probably going to give him the Relic Claw. Then he's got another weird boy, and then 3 30-man units of boys with choppers and a pain boy, which is actually really good.
Yeah, it's tough to get through. Again, target priority is a real pain against James's list because you want to kill the smasher guns and you want to kill the boys.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a lot of bodies, and then the Gretchen can run up and tag things if they want. So.
Yep.
I don't think it's the most powerful list if it goes first, but I think it has the biggest high roll potential with that many smasher guns.
Yeah.
Especially with the shock attack gun in there as well.
Yeah, I'm just I can't remember how. So 45, so 15, 30, 60. So if he took minimum units of Gretchen, he would have an extra 60 points, which I don't think actually really goes anywhere.
You can have a couple more smasher guns or different artillery, I think. But
oh, really?
Yeah, because they're very cheap. So
okay.
5 of them is 165 points. So it's 30 odd points each.
Yeah. Okay.
33, something like that.
But yeah, lots and lots of bodies. So
last but not least, got added to the sheet actually after we finished recording. We have Vanessa's Tyranid list. She has a Kraken detachment and a Kronos detachment. The Kraken detachment has Broodlord, Swarmlord, 15-man Gene Stealer squad, 2 Termagant squads. One is 12-man with Devourers, one is 10-man with Fleshborers. A 6-bug Zoanthrope unit, and a Trigon, which is rather cool. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Then a Kronos battalion, a Hive Tyrant with wings and Devourers, 2 Devourers and Monstrous Redding Claws, a Neurothrope, a Tyranid Prime, some Ripper Swarms, a 5-man Tyranid Warrior unit, a 6-man Hive Guard unit, and a Exocrine. So somewhere between a slightly older style of bid list, I'd say, compared to something like Stuart's. But again, that Swarmlord, Gene Stealer, Kraken combo has been out since the start of Tyrannus Codex, and it's still really nasty if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, it's just all round nice. I like it.
Yeah, the Hive Guard as well are a real pain to deal with, and that one Exocrine, who's probably getting adaptive physiology, given she's put it down on her list. Both of those can do a lot of damage, especially in the marine meta world.
Yeah, it's just all round nice. I think it's like she's got a bit of absolutely everything. I actually really like it.
It's another very varied list. It's not going all in on combat or shooting, but it's got a nice mix of everything.
You've got like the classic Swarmlord Gene Stealer Rush, and then the Zoanthrope Smite Barrage, a Trigon for probably deep striking and just being annoying, and then a Hive Tyrant for flying in and whatnot, Neurothrope for psychic, Tyrannid Prime to buff the warriors, Ripper Swarms to deep strike, warriors to tank stuff, Hive Guard to shoot out of line of sight. It's basically got everything. Yeah, it's a cool list. I like it.
So yeah, that's our list previews. We're gonna, well, if you've listened to this, you might have already heard we've got a separate segment where we're going to have a quick rundown of coolest, best, weirdest, and a prediction for top 3. So we'll have that separately in pure podcast form. So we will see you guys next time.